Hello,
Hello,
hello. Hi, everyone. This is
hello.
Dave and Roxanne.
Welcome to another episode of It's
It's
a
a
New
new
Day,
day.
It's
It's
a
a
New
new
You.
you.
Happy Sunday, everybody. We are back in Calgary.
Yes, back in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We came home Thursday. We arrived Thursday night. Yes, it's been an amazing time. Yes, been busy with family, and we had some church yesterday as well. And today, this morning, I got back to. I came with my husband in the what is it, cycling. I
First
attended
day,
first day.
she's my guest here at the Good Life Fitness. If you want to show it, I don't know if you can show it quickly, but right there, Good Life Fitness. Can you see it over there? Yeah. Uh, how was it?
I was good. It was really good. Yes.
Anyways, every time we do this New Days, New You, we always phrase it in a question. And what's the question today?
The question today is, what's the real antidote to procrastination? And it's not
It's not
motivation.
motivation. You know, uh, you know, I've been listening lately because I usually go to the gym early, and I've been listening to Jim Rohn again. And if you guys don't know who Jim Rohn is, search him up. But he's almost like the father of personal development. He basically mentored Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins is like so big now, but Tony Robbins really learned most of his fundamental teachings from Jim Rohn, and we heard of Jim Rohn many years back, maybe over 10 years ago, and we wanted to see him, but what happened? He didn't. Uh,
Oh, Jim really passed away.
he passed away before we saw him, but I've been starting to listen to him again, and what I love about Jim Rohn's teaching is very practical, very applicable. Sometimes it gives you a slap on your face, and is also he's most of it is biblical type of fundamentals, but he make it so simple. So what's the antidote to procrastination? If that is your challenge, you're struggling to do what you really need to do at that particular moment, or maybe in your business, maybe in your fitness life, whatever it is. And the antidote to procrastination
Is consistency.
consistency. As simple as that. Consistency. And you're like how does that work? Like, consistency, I can't even do the thing. Then how do I become consistent, right? So it's not fluff, it's not hype, it's not all these things you need to do. um, Here's our suggestion, and this is from Jim Rohn, really powerful. You have to really build your self-trust first. And how do you do that? So
Yeah.
first thing is, let's say it's in your fitness life, do something so easy,
Yeah.
right? Do something so easy that you can't fail. Do something so easy that you can't fail, right?
Yeah, like even just a simple, just putting on your running shoes, right? And you can do it at home, maybe 5 minutes of, or like a push up, like 10 push up, right? Rather than having like a goal of 2 hours or 1 hour of workout, right? If you're just starting, right?
Because it's not
Start,
sustainable.
yeah, start with something very small that even if you don't feel like it, you can do it every single day.
Yeah, that's the first practical application of what we're talking about. The antidote to procrastination is consistency. Maybe in your business, if you're an online business owner, or maybe you're in business, right? What's something so simple that even in your worst days you can still do it? What is it? Maybe in the online business, posting could be, maybe reaching out to someone, just one a day, or maybe commenting.
Just being online.
Yeah, I mean, something so easy. Posting might be hard, but for some people, what would be so easy? And maybe just saying, commenting on one of your either business partners, or maybe a prospect, saying happy birthday. I don't know. Something very simple that even on the worst days, you can do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next step is this, really important. Do do it for the next 30 days, every day, 30 days. Because that's what builds the consistency part, right? Again, it's not about, because some people say, oh, if fitness is my goal, if I just like put my shoes on, or maybe
I'm not gonna lose 5 pounds or
walk around the
something.
block, right, around my car, and that doesn't really do anything for me. Yeah, the goal first is not that. The goal is to rebuild the self trust within yourself.
Yeah.
Rebuild that habit, because again, the key is to do it every day, because that's what builds the habit, right?
Yeah, what happens, because what happens is that when when you procrastinate all the time, you don't have that confidence in yourself, right? You don't have that trust in yourself,
Self
because
trust, yeah.
you might say that, oh, I've been promising myself to do this, but I always fail. I always, don't do it, right? I always fail myself, right? So how do you how do you beat that procrastination is to start building that trust in yourself by being consistent in something that's so easy that you cannot fail, right? So choose an activity that you can do it, so that for the next 30 days you build that trust in yourself, and you can say, okay, I am a person that's, that takes care of my health. I'm a person that, I care about my business. I'm a person that I care about my family, right? So whatever that is, it's not about, hitting a certain goal, but it's about being consistent every single day for the next 30
You know
days.
why? Because this shifts your identity
Mm-hmm.
to somebody that procrastinates. Oh, you say to yourself, if you're procrastinating, I always do that, right? Instead of doing that, saying to yourself that I always not do the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I always procrastinate, because you've shifted your identity, because you've done something so even so small for the next 30 days. You're gonna say to yourself, I'm somebody that follows through.
Mm-hmm.
The identity shift. You're becoming that person that actually does the thing that you set out to do. You're, instead of a procrastinator in your identity, you're now somebody that follows through.
Mm-hmm.
This is the key, right? This is what builds momentum. Consistency builds, beats intensity. I mean, intensity is really good, but if you're intense for like 2 hours one day, but then you don't do anything for the next week or so, it doesn't work, right? But if you this is an antidote for people that have been in a slump, right? Maybe in your fitness, in your business life, or finances, right? You just do something ridiculously simple, not once a week, not once every other month, every day, because that's what builds the new identity, right? And here's the trick: after 30 days doing that, you feel so good, you have self-trust now, right? You now have a, confidence within yourself, your identity has started to shift. Then the third step is to raise your standards. Raising your standards means, instead of like walking around the block, maybe you're gonna now walk around 2 blocks,
Mm-hmm.
3 blocks, right? Instead of commenting to one person, maybe you're gonna say, I'm gonna do one post a day now for the next 30 days. You raise your standard, right? So, you know, whatever it is, right? And then you just keep raising your standards, and before you know it, right? You're now a completely different person in the next 90 days. The example he had in this audio we're listening to is like this one guy. He just told him to walk at the end of the street and come back. He said, how does that help me? My goal is to lose 100 pounds. You know, but he did it for the first 30 days, and he felt so good. Then he started, jogging, right? And then he started running a mile, and then he started to, go to the gym again, right? But just a year later, he lost 100 pounds, right? It started with something ridiculously small. And this is what? This is the same thing you do in your business, in your relationship, right? So again, what's the antidote to procrastination? The antidote is consistency. And how do you become consistent? Start with something so infinitesimally small that it doesn't seem that it's gonna matter.
Yeah.
But it does matter, because it starts with you. You're shifting your identity, and then you start to raise your standards.
Yeah. Like, what is that small thing that you can do? Like, maybe in your relationship, you say I love you to your family like once a day, right? Or like you say good things, one comment, right? Whatever small things you can do daily, rather than
key is 30 days.
the key is, just small things you can do. Like, maybe, for your health is to eat one fruit a day.
Yeah, start with that.
Instead of like, I know, like, in our culture, Filipinos, like, we grew up not eating a lot of vegetables, right? So
Instead of a complete like diet, fasting, 7-day plan, start with something so small. If you want to start eating healthy,
yeah.
like eat a fruit, apple a day. I don't know, apple a day brings the doctor away. That's what. So start with something small, and then you build up from there. Right. Again, it's about, I love what Jim Rohn said on this in this audio, because he said that strategy doesn't last. Right. If you say, "Oh, this is it's a 7-day fitness strategy," whatever it is, right? But if you work on your character, right, you becoming, right, that will transcend. That will be, that will be long term, right? Because you're working on the build up of the you becoming. This is so powerful. I've listened to it like many many times. It's like, wow, I need to re-listen to it, and I should share this with our tribe, right? Because a lot of people are like, are in a slump, and this is what they need to do, right? I'm also talking to ourselves, right? So, especially if you've been complacent, not doing the things you need to do, right? Start building with something really, really small, and then you raise your standard. You keep raising it until a year from now, example is personal development, right? You feel like you tell yourself, I'm gonna read a book, but you keep procrastinating reading that book. You're listening, right?
Yeah, just read one page. One page.
For the next 30 days, right?
Yeah, because like sometimes we, like even myself, like especially with us, we're like sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves. I would say, oh, I want to read 10 pages a day, or like 15 minutes a day, right? So if you can't do that, just do one page a day, or just listen to like 5 minutes a day, or like even 2 minutes a day, and then you start to like and do it every single day. I think that's the best way to really like beat that procrastination.
All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. We always end with a verse, and I think I like this verse better. Luke 16, verse 10, it says,
Luke 16 verse 10, it says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much.
I love that. You know why? Because it starts with a little, and this reminds me of our debt-free journey as well. We just started with the little things that we could do, right? The little things we could do. The little things we could cut in our finances, right? The little things we could, earn. Like cleaning on the side just to have an extra 500, so we can pay extra in our debt. That was only once a week cleaning. Like we just did what we can. But when you can be trusted with a little, right? God will entrust you with much much more. So even the thing that you think it doesn't matter with my health,
Yeah.
do it for the next 30 days and watch God expands that, increases that, your character from there, your reach from there, it's really incredible. This is so powerful. I challenge you, comment in the chat, what is that small thing you're going to do for your business, for your fitness, for your finances,
For
maybe
your
for your relationship,
family, yeah.
for your personal development, right?
Yeah,
Is it
personal development.
read one page? Is it going to be? Comment in the chat, right? If you're watching this live or replay, I challenge you, the next 30 days, comment in the chat, I'm going to read one page for the next 30 days. What is it? Comment in the chat. I'm going to, post whatever in my page for the next 30 days. If you're trying to learn about ads, just say, I'm going to go into my back office, look at it for the next 30 days.
I'm gonna
Be
learn
small as that.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, small as that, right? Like, I'm going to review someone's winning ad for the next 90 days. Just look at it. Like, oh, okay, just looking at it, even looking at the same ad, man. Whatever it is, comment in the chat. Whatever you want to, whatever you're procrastinating, find something really small in that and do it, right? So,
Yeah, Patricia said, I'm going to start more reading. Awesome. Yeah, just one page a day. That will make a big difference. Amen, Michelle. Awesome. My sister there. More live interviews. Yes. Yeah, just start small. Like 'cause sometimes if we put um like so many like big things, and then we don't do it for one day, we feel bad about ourselves, right? Right? So really like
again, the key is not result for the next 30 days. The key is to build yourself
yeah.
up. That's the
Hi
key.
Lakpa. Yes. Awesome.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're gonna
Hi Christine.
hello.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
That is another episode of
It's a new day. It's a new you. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Bye.